Why is this failure here? Margaret Williams's voice, sharp as shattered crystal, sliced through the ballroom's polite hum. The words hung in the air. A deliberate strike aimed at her eldest son, Noah, who stood at the entrance of his childhood home. The sprawling Connecticut estate gleamed under a canopy of fairy lights, champagne flutes clinking in a toast to his sister, Jessica. It was her engagement party, a picture-perfect scene that turned frigid the moment Noah appeared. Robert Williams, the patriarch of the Williams dynasty, offered a glance as dismissive as flicking lint from a lapel before turning away. It was as if Noah were nothing more than an expensive painting he'd grown tired of. Jessica's eyes widened in panic, darting between her brother and her fiancé. Only Tyler, Noah's cousin, the man who had replaced him in every way that mattered, stepped forward, his posture a silent threat. "You're not on the guest list," Tyler hissed, subtly signaling security. Noah smiled, a calm, practiced expression that betrayed nothing of the storm raging within. 9 years had transformed the heartbroken Harvard dropout into a man who commanded a room without demanding its attention. His tailored suit whispered of success, his eyes spoke of purpose. "Actually, he is," a voice cut in. Aunt Susan, Margaret's older sister, approached with 2 champagne flutes. "I added him myself." She handed Noah a glass, a subtle wink conveying years of a secret alliance. The timing was no accident. This wasn't just an engagement party. It was the night Tyler would be announced as the new CEO of Williams Investments. Financial reporters circled like sharks, and business partners evaluated every interaction. The Williams family reputation, built over generations, hung delicately in the balance. Noah took a calculated sip of champagne, his gaze sweeping across the room to the walls adorned with family photographs. His image had been meticulously removed from every frame, erased as thoroughly as his name from the family will. Yet here he stood, whole and unbroken, ready to reclaim not his place, but the truth they had buried. "Some celebrations deserve a witness," Noah said quietly, his eyes meeting Tyler's with unwavering intensity, even an unwelcome one. What no one in that room understood was that Noah hadn't come for reconciliation. He had come bearing evidence, perfectly timed and irrefutable. The USB drive in his pocket held enough information to obliterate not just Tyler's future, but the very foundation upon which the Williams empire was built. Noah knew something his family had long forgotten. The most powerful reckonings arrived not with a scream, but with the whisper of a truth ignored for too long. 9 years earlier, Noah Williams had been the golden son. His acceptance to Harvard Law was the next logical step in a family legacy, stretching back 3 generations. At his high school graduation, Robert Williams had beamed, his arm draped possessively around his son as he introduced him to associates as the future of Williams Investments. Margaret had orchestrated elaborate dinners to celebrate his every achievement. The guest lists carefully curated with influential families and their eligible daughters. No one saw the quiet suffering behind the perfect facade. The way his smile never quite reached his eyes, the longing glances at writing journals in bookstore windows. No one, except his grandfather. "You remind me of my brother," James had said during Noah's last Christmas break, pressing a vintage fountain pen into his palm. He was a writer, too. Never found the courage to pursue it. "Don't make his mistakes, son." 3 months later, Noah sat in the mahogany, paneled study, the words tumbling out. His decision to leave law school, his dream to write, and finally, the truth he'd hidden since adolescence. "I'm gay." The words hung in the air, beautiful and dangerous. Robert's face hardened into a mask of disgust. The torn check for Harvard's tuition fluttered to the carpet. Margaret's silent tears were not for her son, but for the gossip that would ripple through the Greenwich Country Club. When a 17-year-old Jessica reached for her brother's hand, their father slapped it away. "No son of mine is a dropout," Robert had spat, each word a venomous dart. Within days, Tyler moved into Noah's childhood bedroom, Within weeks, Noah's name vanished from photographs and conversations. The final, crushing blow came with his grandfather's sudden death. Noah learned of the funeral from an online obituary, his name conspicuously absent from the list of surviving family. He stood across the street from the church, a ghost watching his family mourn without him. Later, at the empty grave, he found a small package containing James's original will and a letter. It revealed his grandfather had intended to create a separate inheritance for Noah, a change that mysteriously never reached the family lawyer. Years passed before he learned the full, heartbreaking truth. Jessica had tried to contact him dozens of times. Letters were hidden, emails blocked, and calls intercepted. Tyler had orchestrated his complete isolation while molding himself into the perfect replacement son, straight, ambitious, and utterly devoted to the Williams legacy. The rejection was never just about his sexuality or career. It was about compliance. In the Williams family, love was conditional, measured by one's contribution to the family image. That day, Noah didn't just lose his family. He lost the illusion that he had ever been accepted for who he truly was. Noah Evans, named and resolute, arrived in Greenwich Village with nothing but his grandfather's fountain pen and a burning determination. A cramped studio apartment above a noisy deli became his sanctuary. He endured countless rejections before his first piece was published, surviving on cheap coffee and sheer will. His break came at a small literary event. Richard Dempsey, a silver-haired icon known for his groundbreaking gay narratives, noticed Noah's worn copy of his memoir. "You've nearly destroyed that book," Dempsey observed. "It saved me when I needed saving," Noah replied. This began an unexpected mentorship. Dempsey, who had also been disowned decades earlier, recognized Noah's wounds. Under his guidance, Noah's writing sharpened. When Dempsey connected him with a CEO needing a crisis statement, the ghost was born. Noah's intimate understanding of powerful families, their instincts, their fears, made him invaluable. He ghostwrote for politicians, tech giants, and Wall Street executives, his words turning disasters into opportunities. His personal life found its anchor in Alex Chen, a corporate attorney whose structured world both challenged and grounded him. "You're fighting ghosts," Alex told him during an argument over Noah's obsession with Williams Investments' financial reports. "I'm worried you're building your life on revenge instead of healing." Meanwhile, Aunt Susan was his clandestine link to home, providing updates on Jessica's unhappiness and his father's increasing tyranny. The truth was devastating despite his success and finding authentic love. A part of him remained frozen in that mahogany study, forever seeking the approval of those who had proven unworthy of it. The revelation about Tyler came from an unlikely source, a financial analyst who sought Noah's crisis management services. As he detailed a pattern of insider trading and money laundering, a familiar name emerged. Tyler had been using cryptocurrency to hide illegal profits and, worse, was funneling client funds from Williams Investments through the same channels, risking the entire family legacy. Noah's office became a war room. As he pieced together the evidence, a more complex picture of his family emerged. He found an old email where Tyler had once defended him to Robert. He discovered records of Tyler's anonymous donations to LGBTQ charities, a quiet act of guilt, perhaps. Most damningly, he found proof that his parents had seen signs of Tyler's corruption years ago and had chosen to look away, prioritizing profits over integrity. He also uncovered Tyler's active sabotage of his early career. Job offers mysteriously withdrawn, publishing deals suddenly canceled. The ethical dilemma was immense. Exposing Tyler would bring down everyone. "There's a way to stop Tyler without destroying everything," Alex said one night, reviewing the evidence. "Justice doesn't have to be scorched earth." That shifted Noah's purpose. Revenge gave way to something more nuanced, protecting the family legacy from the very person chosen to uphold it. He began carefully building a case, sharing information with contacts at the SEC and FBI. He was no longer seeking to burn it all down. He was performing a precise, surgical strike. Back in the ballroom, Tyler stepped to the microphone, Robert standing proudly beside him. "Before we continue," Aunt Susan's voice cut in, "I believe Noah should say a few words." Boxed in, his family had no choice. Noah approached the podium and connected the USB drive. What appeared on the screen wasn't a messy expose, but a clean, undeniable selection of documents. "The Williams family has always valued legacy." Noah began, his voice steady. "Tonight, I'm ensuring that legacy remains untarnished by the actions of one individual." Tyler's face went white as he lunged toward Noah. He wasn't intercepted by family security, but by federal agents moving with quiet efficiency. "You could have destroyed us completely," Robert said later, his voice hollow as Tyler was escorted away. "That was never my intention," Noah replied. The dam broke when Jessica rushed to him, her embrace bridging 9 years of silence. She whispered of letters never sent and a brother she never stopped missing. Then Margaret approached, her hands trembling. She confessed to a hidden drawer filled with clippings of Noah's achievements, articles about the mysterious ghostwriter she somehow knew was her son. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a crack in the icy wall between them. "I don't expect you to forgive me," she whispered, "but I want you to know I never stopped seeing you." Noah left not with triumph, but with a quiet peace. Back in Manhattan, his chosen family awaited Alex, his steadfast love Richard, his mentor, and now, Susan and Jessica, the blood relations who had proven their worth. The following week, Penguin Random House called. They wanted him to write a memoir about redefining family and identity after rejection. His story, it turned out, wasn't just his own anymore. It was a testament to the fact that true family isn't always defined by blood, but by those who see your worth when others refuse to.